Hey guys, James here, and today I'm responding to 5 Stupid Things About Suicide by Steve Shives. Now, Steve, despite some rather large philosophical disagreements, I do like you, man. You're a smart guy, you're articulate, and your editing really is top notch. You're a real asset to the atheist community on YouTube, but sometimes you rush into making videos without doing your homework first. If you're going to make videos about libertarianism, men's rights, or suicide, you really should shut the fuck up and listen to the perspective of men's rights activists, libertarians, and suicide victims before you make your videos. I know you made this video with the best of intentions, but suicide is perhaps the most dangerous topic to speak about if you don't understand it, and I really do see your video as doing a lot more harm than good in this respect. Now, with that being said, let's get on with your video.
You leave a mess behind. There's a scene in the film A Single Man where the protagonist, played by Colin Firth, is preparing to shoot himself and is obsessing over how to stage it to maximize his own comfort in his final moments and also to minimize the burden on whoever is going to find him after he's dead. It's a nice bit of subtle black comedy that makes light of how essentially selfish suicide is. You end your life, and from your perspective, that's it. It's over. But someone's going to have to find you, and depending on what method you use to do yourself in, cleaning you up could really ruin somebody else's day.
The first mistake you made is including this video in your 5 Stupid Things series. Now, no matter how good the rest of your video is going to be, that doomed this video right from the start. It seems to me that either you have never been in a place in your life that low, or you didn't try and put yourself in that mindset before uploading the video. How this comes across is, I don't care if you're going through unimaginable suffering and can't see a way out. You have to keep on suffering because otherwise it will inconvenience other people. There is a very good reason that under the logo of the Samaritans it says, if something's troubling you then get in touch, rather than don't be a selfish arsehole. If somebody wants to talk about feeling suicidal, the absolute worst thing you can do is immediately tell them that how they feel is stupid and selfish. It's a surefire method to guarantee that they're going to bottle their feelings up and not talk to you about it. And unfortunately, for far too many suicidal people, that is the only attitude they hear when they try to talk about it.
It can be contagious. One of the things that seems to increase the odds that you will kill yourself is knowing someone else who killed him or herself. Children of people who commit suicide are more likely to commit suicide themselves. People who have siblings or spouses or close friends who commit suicide are more likely to commit suicide themselves as well. The point is, you don't exist in a vacuum, and unless you are a truly, truly horrible person, and you're watching this channel, so how could you be that bad, the damage created from your suicide will be far, far greater than any damage you might imagine yourself causing while you're alive, and that damage will extend beyond yourself to your friends, your family, your community. You won't leave just a corpse behind. You'll leave a scar.
I skipped part 2 because it was just more of the same, but calling someone a truly, truly horrible person for feeling that way really sealed it. If you shame somebody that much, that is going to destroy any chance of them ever coming to you for help in the future, and possibly speaking to anybody else about their problems as well. Yes, of course, the effect it has on other people can be absolutely catastrophic. But do you honestly believe that most suicidal people haven't thought about that? And if you honestly believe that the effect a suicide can have on a person's family is worse than anything they as an individual could possibly go through, then you really are absolutely fucking clueless about what real suffering is. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't bring this up at all, but the first and most important thing you do is shut the fuck up and listen to why they feel the way they do, without making them feel judged and making a person who already feels worthless any worse. Offer reassurance, try to calm them down, and if you can, help them with their problems or point them in the direction of somebody who can. I've left a couple of links down below to some charities which can offer help, and of course, if I'm capable of doing so myself, I'm willing to talk as well.
It's permanent. Of course, there are reasons not to commit suicide beyond the effect that your death will have on other people. There are plenty of totally legit, entirely selfish reasons to stick around as well. For instance, once you check out, there's no checking back in. I know that it's a cliche to say that suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem, but if you're at the point of seriously considering suicide, it is something worth thinking about. When you're dead, you're dead. Suicide means you cease to exist. And yes, it means that from your perspective, all your problems also cease to exist. Your depression, your fear, your anxiety, your bad relationship, your actions with the unwanted consequences, whatever it is that has brought you down to this point, that all goes away. But so does every good thing that might have happened to you in the rest of your life had you not committed suicide. Think of all the great films that you won't get to see. Think of all the great books that you won't get to read. Think of all the sex you won't get to have. Think of all the people that you won't get to meet, or all the things you won't get to learn. Look, if you're seriously at the point of considering suicide, I'm sure that the world looks like nothing but shit to you, and some random idiot on YouTube blowing sunshine up your ass isn't going to make much of a difference. But before you do something that you won't be able to take back, consider this one last thing about suicide.
If you opened with that point, I suspect people would have a lot less problem with your video. This is absolutely true. According to Kevin Caruso of suicide.org, virtually every suicide survivor he's talked to is glad they didn't kill themselves. And I think the It Gets Better campaign, for the most part, did a fantastic job as well. The problem is that a suicidal person just doesn't see it that way. When you've been abused by every person you should be able to trust and turned away by every organisation which should be able to help, or you're a middle-aged man who's been fucked over by the person you invested your whole life in, lost your job due to depression, health turned to shit, lost the house, and had your whole family alienated against you, you just don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Now, 9 out of 10 suicide victims suffer from a mental illness at the time of their death, and the stigma surrounding mental illness plays an absolutely gigantic part towards contributing to why they don't seek help. I'll leave a link to an article below about that as well. Now, these mental illnesses do cloud your judgment. We are pattern-seeking animals, so when we feel like that, we only notice the bad things. As pleasant as that platitude is, unfortunately, it really won't help matters much. These people need to seek help from a person or organisation that they can trust.
It gives your problems all the power. Whatever it is that has brought you to the brink of self-annihilation must be pretty bad, or you wouldn't be at this point. But why let that problem, whatever it is, run you out of your own life? The only way you're guaranteed to have to deal with this problem for the rest of your life is if you end your life because of it. Why give your grief, your fear, your depression that kind of control? I'm not trying to trivialize your problems, and I'm not saying that there's never ever a legitimate reason to commit suicide. If you have a terminal illness and you've decided to take control of your own destiny rather than wasting away in prolonged agony, who am I to tell you not to? But if you're in that situation, at least give your family and friends a heads up first. Don't do it impulsively. Think it over. Try to make the most out of your life. You owe that to your community, to your friends, to your family, and most of all, to yourself. Your life is all you have. Please, don't give it up without a fight.
Again, this is a nice platitude, but I find this line of reasoning to be utterly retarded. I've heard the same line of reasoning with people who have abusive bosses. Well, if you quit, then you've just let them win. Suicidal people are in an immense amount of pain, and simply want that pain to end. A better analogy would be a fight. If you're getting the living shit kicked out of you, then yes, the only way you can guarantee that you'll lose is to give up. But there does come a point when you simply don't want to feel any more pain. As I said though, things usually do get better. If you've been suffering for months or years, then what's another week or two? Use that time to search for somebody who will listen and offer support. It's tough, I know, it's really tough. Most people just don't get it, and you have to accept that. But keep looking. Research suicide prevention and try to find services which might be able to help you. There's no shame in that whatsoever. If you can, then get away from the place which is giving you grief. Stay with friends or find a shelter if there really is no other options. As I said, 9 out of 10 suicides are by somebody with a mental illness, and there really is no more reason to feel shame for a mental illness than there is for feeling shame towards a broken leg. There's a large stigma behind it, but fuck those people. So please, seek help and make sure you've done absolutely everything in your power before taking your own life. Anyway, thanks for watching guys. Steve, hopefully that's cleared up why people have been pissed off with your video, and if there's anybody watching who has got suicidal tendencies, hopefully some of this is of use to you, and check out the links below. Hopefully there's something which can help you there. Thanks for watching everyone. Comment, rate, subscribe, send me video responses, and I'll see you soon. Bye.